Hello, saints of St. Andrew of all ages. I'm Betsy Smith, and I welcome you to the first video lesson weekly that will be given weekly for your family and friends. Because this is a video, you can pause it at any time to collect supplies for today's lesson and to take time to do the activity. Today, you will need the following supplies: a Bible for every 2 people in your group, and you can share with another person, a mask or a blindfold for an outside activity, and drawing paper or markers or crayons to draw the last activity on your paper. So please pause and collect your supplies now. Do you see where I am? I'm on my screen porch. And I'm on my screen porch for a really good reason, because of the beautiful backdrop of God's creation. You see a lot of trees. Well, do you know what trees do for living creatures and people? Take a minute and share a couple of thoughts with each other. One thing that trees do is that they take in energy from sunlight and transform it to the leaves, and the energy is used by insects and mammals and birds. This is called photosynthesis. Now pause and name the kinds of insects you see in your yard or your neighborhood, the mammals you see, and what kind of birds or colors of birds that you see. Trees also take in or absorb water, so that every time it rains, we don't have a flood in our yards because the trees absorb some of the rain. Trees take in harmful gases from the air and soil that might be there, and they change them for the well-being of people. Trees protect us from the heat of the sun, and trees produce nuts and fruits. Pause again and discuss other purposes that you know trees have. Now it's time for a nature study with your hands. You will need your mask or a scarf or a blindfold for this activity. If you use your mask, you can use it over your eyes when it gets to be that time, like this. So with a partner, go outside to your yard or a safe place on your street that has a tree that you can hug. The directions for your study are: your partner will lead you to a tree safely. Feel the tree very carefully with your hands. Go as high as you can with your hands and as low as you can. Then come back inside to your meeting place and share. What did the tree feel like? Did you hear any sounds in the tree you studied? What do you like about this tree? Now, if you were at Rally Day, you heard something being dropped from the trees in our church parking lot. What are those little things called? Do you know what kind of trees were dropping the nuts? Why don't you find out by asking an adult? Trees are a wonderful part of God's creation. They are part of God's gift to us, and we need to take care of them. God put trees in His creation and gave an important job to the first human beings. That is the job of caring for God's world, and it is now up to us. let's read now the passages that tell us this in our Bibles. Sometimes we have Bibles that may not have the same words exactly, but the meanings are the same. So the first scripture is Genesis 1, 26 through 30. And then Genesis 2, verse 15. Genesis 1, 26 through 30. Then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, and over all the wild animals of the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps upon earth." So God created humankind in his image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them. God blessed them, and God said to them, "Be fruitful and multiply, and fill the earth and subdue it. Have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the birds of the air, and over every living thing that moves upon the earth." God said, "See, I have given you every plant yielding seed that is upon the face of all the earth, and every tree with seed in its fruit. You shall have them for food. And to every beast of the earth, and to every bird of the air, and to everything that creeps on the earth, everything that has the breath of life, I have given every green plant for food." And it was so. And then chapter 2, verse 15. God took the man and set him down in the Garden of Eden to work the ground and keep it in order. So there are a couple of words in our scriptures that are worth pausing to understand. What does dominion mean? Dominion means that man has control and responsibility for God's living things. And what does till mean? Till means to work and watch and cultivate. And that is how God has given us a purpose to care for his creation. So God's purpose for humankind is to care for our earth. Now, your last activity is to draw on your paper two things. Number one, draw your favorite thing from creation. A plant, it can be an animal, a mountain, your favorite thing. And number two, draw or write one thing you will do this week to help take care of God's wonderful world. What will you do to take care of God's wonderful world? Talk about it in your family, with your friends, and share it with me next time I see you. Have a wonderful week, saints.